from WEEK, your home team. This is 25 News Midday.
Good morning and welcome to 25 News Midday. It is 11:30 on a Monday morning. Glad to have you with us. I'm Simone Doten.
And I'm Mason Dowling, and it is a great morning for a cup of coffee. If you're like me anyway, because it doesn't matter how hot it is outside, I will always have my coffee hot. But
Same.
Speaking of hot, Alex Menke, is there any relief that we can expect?
We are going to get some, but we have to get through today, and that's going to be the tough part because with this heat comes that humidity, and we haven't really dealt with, the 80% humidity in quite some time. So I have bad news, but I always bring good news with my bad news. Let's take a look outside right now, though. Look at that. Bison and elk at Wildlife Prairie Park in Hannah City. Beautiful low 80s right now in the afternoon. Our highs are 90, though, so we are going to get there, and we'll see more animals at the watering hole very soon. Let's take a look at some of our area temperatures right now. 85 in Peoria. Pontiac 82, Bloomington normal, the Twin Cities 83, all the way up top in our viewing area with Princeton at 82, Canton at 80. So we've all hit the 80s. Now we're going to make our way up to our high point today around the 90s, and then some overnight showers and thunderstorms. That's going to give us that cloud coverage and some cool off that's coming throughout the week. And we'll talk about that coming up in just a few minutes. Simone?
Alex, thank you so much. The owner of CityLift, the part of CityLink that caters to riders with disabilities, is now facing a lawsuit from multiple plaintiffs.
Those lawsuits now claim not one, but two local teens with special needs were dropped off in the wrong spots by CityLift drivers. Now, this all started with an incident in mid-June where 13-year-old Marcus Mize, this boy with autism, was supposed to be taken to his grandma's house in Peoria, but was instead found wandering the back roads outside Morton. Now, attorney Andy Hale claims another incident happened before Marcus's to a 15-year-old.
The family says that young man was supposed to be dropped off at a camp for kids with special needs. Instead, they maintain he was dropped off at a church and left alone for 2 hours. The lawsuit claims they endangered the health and safety of both children and violated the Americans with Disabilities Act. The driver was evaluated on shore. That driver will not receive any citations. Pekin residents rushed to the rescue Wednesday night after a man drove his truck into Myers Lake.
Definitely a scary situation. Neighbors say it sounded like an explosion when it all happened. It was around 8:30 Wednesday night, and after that boom, they saw a truck sinking. Several people leapt into the water to help that driver, who was able to get out just before the truck went under. After he was out, neighbors, including trained diver Mark Matthew, were able to raise the truck and get it back onto dry land.
It's heartwarming to know that people come together to make something like that happen. I mean, people were really worried about, obviously, the condition of the person because the truck's replaceable. But once they found out that they were okay, then it was the next step was to let's get this out of here and do the least environmental problems that we can.
That accident was related to a medical condition. The driver was evaluated on shore, is not receiving any citations.
Men at the Pontiac Correctional Facility are giving back from behind bars. They're currently working hard on a 4-acre plot to grow fresh produce, but it's not just for themselves.
We'll go out to Caitlin Pearson in the field to explain in just a moment. But first, talking about farming weather, we've had a lot of dryness and hopefully some rain to come soon, Alex.
Unfortunately, guys, we're only going to get a little thunderstorm overnight, and we need a lot more than that when it comes to the drought our farmers are seeing right now. Let's take a look outside for Hannah City. That's where our little elk and bison, they're making their way to the watering hole, high in the 90s today, so there's going to be a lot of them hanging around in there. When we look at those area temperatures, 85 Peoria, 83 Bloomington normal, all the way up top in Princeton, 82, down in 80 in Canton as well. And when we move on to our daily planner, we're going to start to see that cloud coverage come in after we hit our highs because we do have those thunderstorms coming overnight, which means cloudy the rest of the week. But it's been a while since we've seen rain in our 7-day, and it's going to be a while before we see it again, unfortunately, for our farmers. Mason?
All right, Alex, thank you. And like she was saying, even though we might have some rain on the way, summer heat still holding strong. The time for apple cider and some refreshment quickly approaching.
And you can get a taste of fall early as Tanner's Orchard officially opens for the season this Monday.
I'm looking forward to it.
Well, the family destination started in 1947 and features more than 11,000 apple trees and a 20-acre pumpkin patch. And luckily for Tanner's, the spring rain isn't hurting their produce.
No, the weather didn't affect the apples at all. It might have pushed us back maybe a few days or something, for the planting of some of the crops, but we were lucky. We got in when we could.
All the family favorites are back this year, like the corn maze and petting zoo. But what's new this year is more seating and space in the bakery, plus a Tanner's Orchard original cookbook that'll be up for sale as well.
Ooh, I'm looking forward to it. Always great to have apple cider, especially when it's this hot out. So I might be first in line.
Well, I'm not a
happen to be
big
out there.
apple girl, but you know, I hear about Tanner's Orchard and how popular
staple.
it is, and I hear when they open, that's a sign that fall is not far behind.
We're almost there. Just got to make it through a hot few more weeks. Well, coming up next on 25 News, prepping for schoolwork next month. It's a little bit easier this weekend.
Well, thank goodness. But you don't have to buy the supplies. They're included in a giveaway. Details coming up next.